Holy crap, that is freaking awesome! Atomic Blonde stars Charlize Theron as an agent for the MI6 whose mission is to go to Berlin to retrieve a stolen list of names of double agents. She's instructed to not trust anyone despite having to form an alliance with a suspicious station chief played by James McAvoy, and the two of them have to go kill some baddies. This movie is set at the time of the fall of the Berlin Wall, but the opening text wants to make it very clear to you that this is not the story of the wall's demolition. And through a lot of this movie, I wished I was watching a movie about that story. Seriously, why hasn't that been made yet? Now, this was the first movie that I ever got to see in advance, so it was a pretty exciting time for me at the theater, knowing that I was going to be able to bring out a review before the initial release. It's just kind of a bummer that I'll remember this as that first film I saw in advance. The most commendable thing about Atomic Blonde is the stunt work. This movie is directed by David Leitch, who has been the stunt coordinator of many big-budget films, most commonly those by the Wachowskis. And when he directs Charlize Theron in the hand-to-hand combat scenes in Atomic Blonde, they both impress. Reportedly, Theron's physical performance got so intense that she bruised a rib and chipped a few of her teeth. My problem with the fight scenes is that they're so few and far between and last for barely a minute each, except for one, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, I wouldn't mind so much if in the meantime the movie delivered compelling dialogue or maybe brought something new and fresh to the spy thriller genre, but it doesn't. It's very short on substance, and the plot is even convoluted at times. Like I said, Charlize Theron kills it when she's in combat, but otherwise, she as well as most of the cast, with the exception of maybe James McAvoy, are all very lifeless in their screen presence with bland, boring line delivery. Just always talking like this, barely raising my voice, 'cause I'm just so serious. I even at one point made an effort to get interested in what they were saying, but they did not make it easy. The visuals are equally flat. Whenever a scene takes place outdoors, the lighting is so pale that I guess they had to make up for it by using an absurd number of neon lights in the indoor scenes. Whenever it's inside a bedroom or restaurant or whatever, more often than not, there are neon lights present. And I know that this won't bother some people, but for others such as me it will. This is one of those R-rated action flicks that thinks it's more hardcore by putting a more than moderate amount into the raunch factor. So I found the majority of this movie to be a dull slog to sit through, and I was consistently feeling the urge to fall asleep. That is until the movie woke me up. Holy mackerel, did it wake me up. 3/4 in, there is a 10-minute long, utterly fantastic fight sequence in an apartment building where Charlize Theron and 4 or 5 adversaries take each other on. It's all done in one sustained shot, and while those long take sequences are starting to become a cinematic norm nowadays, this one is still an amazing feat. The camera continuously follows Charlize Theron duking it out from stairwell to suite and even into a car a la Children of Men. And the scene feels so real too, because while Charlize Theron is single-handedly mowing down enemies throughout the rest of the movie, in this scene, she doesn't just walk away from getting beaten to a pulp. She, as well as her adversaries, are repeatedly getting back up slowly and struggling and straining to fight with whatever little they got left in them. This is the greatest hand-to-hand combat scene this year, and one of the best of the decade. Now here's the funny thing. At the theater where I work, we have this cardboard stand for the movie, and at the top, instead of saying, "Everyone is talking about Atomic Blonde," it says, "Everyone is talking about the stairwell scene from Atomic Blonde," and proceeds to show quotes from critics and audiences raving about it. That sums up the movie pretty darn well. It evokes the idea that the director had every frame of that shot envisioned in his head, so he had to make an entire movie in order to bring it to life. But as a full-length movie, it contains little else of worth. As phenomenal as that sequence is, the movie surrounding it is just too drab and dreary for me to recommend. If it sounds to you like the stairwell scene is worth the ticket price, then it probably will be, but I'd suggest waiting to watch it when it gets uploaded onto YouTube. Heaven knows someone will do it. With everything considered, I'm going to give Atomic Blonde a 39%. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like if you liked, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.